Have you ever noticed how overwhelm isn't just about having too much to do? It's about having too little space to breathe when you're in it. Hi, I'm Jane Baldwin, and I help thoughtful, busy people find clarity and steadiness in the middle of everyday life using a simple and practical mindfulness framework I created called the Unwinding Compass. If you want to navigate life with more intention and ease, hit subscribe now. So we tend to think that clarity comes from slowing everything down, taking a weekend off, clearing our schedule, or stepping away for a bit. But what if clarity isn't something you have to find outside of your everyday life? What if it's something you can access right in the middle of it? That's what this video is about. 3 clarity practices you can use before your next big decision to create breathing room without losing momentum. So practice 1 is the grounded pause. Before you respond, decide, or say yes, try this. Notice your breath. That's it. No need to deepen it, just notice. And ask yourself, am I responding from pressure or presence? This tiny pause, just 10 seconds, interrupts autopilot. Those moments you move through your day by habit, saying yes automatically, reacting without thinking, pushing through without checking in. It's not wrong, it's just fast. And clarity needs a moment that's slower. The grounded pause, a simple noticing your breath, brings you back to the moment before the decision. That's where your agency lives, and that's where clarity starts. People who practice this regularly tell me they feel more confident, less reactive, and better able to trust their instincts, even in fast-moving situations. It's not about doing more. It's about choosing what feels steady. Hannah, a woman I worked with, was a nonprofit leader, and she had just gotten off a board call where they asked her to take on another leadership role on top of a job she was already considering leaving. And she told me later, normally I would have just said yes on the spot. That's who I've always been, the reliable one. But this time, she paused. She noticed her breath, and she asked herself, am I saying yes because I want to, or because I feel pressured to stay useful, and that's more valuable? She told them she'd think about it and call back. And that gave her a moment to pause. And when she did that, she got honest with herself. And she told me what I needed wasn't more responsibility. I needed space just to take a moment and recalibrate. She ended up saying no and felt more respected, not less. She said it was the first time she felt like she chose from her center, not from pressure or obligation. So the second practice is called the curiosity pose. Before making a decision, pause with curiosity. Ask, what does my body feel drawn toward? What feels tight? What feels open? I mean, you don't need to decode it. Just notice. Because here's the truth. The body often knows what the mind hasn't figured out yet. It's true. And when you honor these signals, you tend to make decisions that hold, not just feel good in the moment. This practice helps people stop second-guessing themselves. You're not just choosing from logic, you're choosing from wholeness. You're choosing from what you're feeling and thinking. That's the kind of clarity that lasts. I had a therapist client that came to me during a major pivot, and he was about to sign a lease for his new therapy office. On paper, it looked perfect. It was a great location, good rent, lots of space. But every time he went to move forward, something felt off. He just felt a little nauseous, like something in his stomach turned. So we paused together and used a practice I call the curiosity pause. Instead of thinking it through again, he turned inward and he got curious. What's happening in my body right now? He noticed his breath was shallow and his chest felt tight and his stomach felt tight. And when he imagined not signing the lease, just waiting, he felt his shoulders drop, his jaw soften. He just felt more ease. And that was enough information he needed. He paused the deal. He didn't end it, but he paused it. And 2 weeks later, he found out that a different space opened up. It was brighter. It was quieter. It had more things that he wanted. Like it had a better landlord. And he told me later, I am so glad I didn't just push through and override what my body was trying to tell me. That pause saved me years of discomfort. And the third pause, it's the priority pause. A pause doesn't have to mean stopping everything. Sometimes it's created by something as simple as noticing your breath, like in the first pause. And that's all it takes to interrupt that autopilot and come back to yourself. Interrupting autopilot means catching yourself right in the middle of a reflex or a routine and choosing to respond from what you're aware of rather than what's your normal habit. It's that moment when you notice you're about to say yes automatically and you pause. It's the breath that reminds you, hold on a second, I have a choice here. Before deciding anything, pause. This time, not to slow down, but to zoom out and look at the bigger picture of your life. Ask, what matters most right now? Not what's loudest, not what's urgent, but what's most essential. This is what I call the priority pause. It's where you remember what you're genuinely in service of. That one question can shift everything because sometimes clarity isn't about the choice itself, it's about where you're choosing from. This pause helps you stay connected to what really matters, especially when autopilot takes over or things feel confusing or chaotic. It keeps you from sacrificing your values for someone else's urgency. It's how you create breathing room without stepping away from your life. I was working with a woman named Jess. She was an executive coach, mom of 2. She was offered a high-profile coaching contract. And on the surface, it was everything she thought she wanted. She was going to get more exposure, a generous budget, prestige, but it also meant twice a month travel, which would pull her away from her morning routine with her kids, something she deeply valued, but rarely prioritized when making big decisions. She told me, normally, I would have said yes right away. I've always been the one who rises to the opportunity, no matter what it costs me. But this time, she did something different. She took what I call the priority pause, this moment to notice her breath, interrupt autopilot, zoom out, look at her life, and say what matters most right now. Not later, not future me, but right now. And she realized those quiet mornings and that time with her kids weren't just habit. They were her anchor, where she felt most connected and most herself. And she wanted more of those, not less. So instead of defaulting to yes, she proposed a new offer, one that let her stay grounded at home and grow her business. And they accepted it. And later she said, that one pause helped me choose from what's true, not just what looks good. I didn't lose momentum. I gained alignment. So she was able to gain more out of pausing. So if you're standing at the edge of a decision or just moving fast through life, remember, clarity isn't something you have to earn by slowing down or taking a long break. It's something you can return to right now through breath, awareness, and alignment. These 3 practices are simple but powerful. Pause and notice your breath. Pause and get curious. Your body is always sending signals. And pause and zoom out. Look at the bigger picture and name what matters most. These pauses don't stop your momentum, they align it. So if you want more tools like this, download the Clarity Check-In you'll find in this post. It's a free guide to help you reconnect with yourself anytime, anywhere. And if this helped you, like and subscribe. I've got more clarity tools coming your way.